calculations and customer engineering considerations. This is one thing that we've been discussing to some extent, and the basic thing that we run into is public restrooms versus private restrooms, and
yes, and that's
how to charge.
Yeah, that's the second item on the agenda.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see on the ER calculations and customer engineering considerations. What?
I think the Hansens are here, so if you guys wanted to, I met with them on Monday so that they could fully understand what our ERs were based off of and things like that, and what they wanted to address with the board. And so I think if you guys want to go ahead.
That's board seen the table that we
I can bring it up. I didn't know, but yes, this is the one that you sent today. So it's really small, and I can zoom in on the areas that you choose to discuss.
Is that different from the previous one, last one?
It is slightly different workup. And so this is kind of, did you bring any printouts for
I did.
them? Okay. So
I could try this.
basically,
Just their ERs, I see that,
yes. They're recognizing the one ER for Miss Hansen's house there, the caretaker's house, which is the Bitter End Marina caretaker's house, and then the mobile home on the property. So that's 3 ERs. When they came in and met on Monday, I said, yep, that goes right along with our ordinances. Then the guest house, they recognize as that 0.7. It's unoccupied at the time, but regardless, that goes right along with our ordinance. Then later on in the discussion, whatever you guys decide with public versus private, they are either going to, they'll make the appropriate accommodations, but we feel like ultimately they will be at the no values for the public restroom and shower. Then the clubhouse, which is the only one, I know we charge that as a business. We do that with Vista Bay and McDonald's as well. It's considered a business with 1 ER for 10 or less full-time employees. So that's up for the board discussion. The boat slips, they agreed 193 for a total of 3.86 ERs. And then they would also like to have 2 ERs reserved for future development on that land. Go ahead.
So clarify, are we talking water or sewer here?
Sewer. Yes. So this was, based on my count versus their count. So all of it will help them be able to decide how many transfers to do with above Baywatch Estates, as well as agreeing on. So the only thing that the district and my count would not be agreeing on is the clubhouse. I mark that as a business with an automatic 1 ER. That would be the only area that we have a difference on. The public versus private, again, will be discussed a little bit later on with the board's decision on where we go, because that's already written in our ordinance and I can't change that.
So just a question on in the clubhouse, there's 3 heads, right? I mean, 3 bathrooms?
Yes.
Okay, and 2 showers.
Yeah.
And
Okay, go ahead.
And the boat slips fee, because nobody's unloading there. I mean, they have to go over to McDonald's as the closest one for a dump.
Correct.
Dump their tanks. So I think I'm looking at this thinking that the boat slip aspect covers the clubhouse, because that's all the people from the clubhouse will utilize that if they have to use the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, it's a club, it's not, I guess, it's, I don't know, as far as the business goes.
Yeah. I know with the other marinas, like Vista Bay has told me that they rent out their clubhouse for events and parties and things like that. So, I mean, clearly that ER is supposed to cover things like that.
Okay, do you rent it out? It's just
No,
a matter of somebody wants to have a
Yeah.
get together, they have
It's
a
just
barbecue.
patrons only, though. It's patrons only. We don't rent it out to any.
Then the yacht club will have a lunch here and there, but
Right, I've been down there
That's
for a
it.
few of those
Yeah.
kinds of matters, but
No, we don't rent it out.
I guess it kind of comes back to the definition of ERs and how we're interpreting that, because that was
Yeah.
part of the discussion was to get a definition of how ERs are allocated and done.
Yep.
And so where's that?
Where's the definition?
Yeah,
That
as
needs
far
to be set by you guys. So when you asked me to reach out to the attorney on what was private versus public, the attorney says that is set by the board. Just like we did with the multifamily dwelling, and the attorney came back with some suggestions for you guys, but ultimately it is set by the board. So what you guys agree upon is
I mean, the restroom thing, that was the only thing that was being discussed, was being put in the
correct.
till now.
And just so everyone's aware, the original ordinance for the LID did not have a calculation for public restroom or shower. That was brand new on this new ordinance, which I think had the best
And use in
intent.
public again, is that
Public or
like
private.
anybody in this can walk in and use it?
Correct. And so I never added it into the ordinance. That was done between Colleen and the engineer, and then blessed by the attorney review. So I'm just saying that was never in the ordinance in the first place, which is why charging for the boat slips made sense for the restrooms. And then I think the gray areas now come from adding in a new charge for a public restroom.
And so the private ones are covered by the boat slips, essentially.
Yeah, in this case,
If there's an addition,
Yeah.
one that's open to the public, those aren't people who are counted in the boat slip calculation.
that's not a concern here, is it?
Or a restaurant. No, not here at all.
Yeah.
Some of the other businesses will have that issue.
And so we'll get back to the private and public thing. They're asking basically what is going to be done with their clubhouse and if that should be considered a business. And then also the ability to transfer their ERs.
From where to where?
From the clubhouse.
Yeah, so what they want to do is, so here's the map of theirs, and they want to keep 10.46 ERs, which means that currently they have 9.46, so they would need one more ER to transfer to this one. This one would get a transfer of an ER, this would get a transfer of an ER, and this one has one. They don't want an ER here. And then the rest of their ERs would reside above Baywatch Estates. Did I get that right?
pretty close, yeah.
How many ERs are we talking about here?
Yeah, well, you know, it may be worth pointing out that if you scroll to the right, the total number of ERs
I wish I could make this bigger.
that all parties that was originally assessed is 52.46 ERs. Okay, and what we've done is we've allocated them as logically as possible, attaching them to the parcels that they originally attached to, and came up with 52.46 ERs. And Jesse's right that after squaring it away with Bitter End Marina and attaching ERs as they are appropriate to various lots and structures, such area and the marina, we're left with I think 16 ERs that can be allocated up above Baywatch, or the property above Cape Horn Road, I should say, because it's about 45 acres that the Hansens would like to consider subdivision on.
And these ERs have been bought and paid for?
Yep.
Over the last 30 years?
Yep. They own each and every one of them now. It's just about where they would
Just
like to place
unused at
them.
this point,
Correct.
which is one reason we have so much less sewage than we have ERs. Okay.
And each ER is for one individual home.
Yep. One home or, business use or things like that. And they have different allocations for each use.
But it's no granny shack out here with the toilet and then this one over here, things kind of start folding in on places.
Not in this situation. Put it back speaking. I can't say that's not the case for
I know,
somewhere
but I
else.
just said,
Yeah.
they're with the hoses running over to different locations.
Yeah, that's a pretty common thing. But not in this situation.
So this is for individual residents.
Yep, this is going to be for its combination between their marina and
So stuff
couple
all on the
houses.
size, that all residential, what you're looking at?
Yes, single-family residential. I would point out, if you could just scroll back down, Jesse, without just,
I wish this would go away. Let's do that.
no, just down. You were right there. I wanted to look at the bottom of the
This?
table. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
get
to the left. There you go. The ERs, let's see, they total up 9.56 by the assumptions that we've stated, the 193 slips, 7/10 for the guest house, and the 2 additional reserved ERs, and then the existing structures at the top is 3. But when in round, we come up with 0.9 ER just hanging out there.
Yeah.
And so we, just to make it total 52.46, we reallocated 0.9 ER marina. So we're almost adding one more ER back to the marina.
Okay.
Because there wasn't anywhere, we can't build 0.9, 9/10 of a lot, a single family residence, so.
It can get you another guest house.
Guest house.
Yeah.
See, that's all point stuff.
Yeah,
It would also allow some expansion if you added more buildings, right?
that too.
Yeah.
So this seems like a pretty well thought out.
Yeah.
We wish they were all that way.
Right? Yeah. It's been well thought out. We've had lots of meetings, making sure that they're on the same page, the district is on. Again, the only thing would be the board's input on what the clubhouse is. Everything else is by the book and how we're doing it with each and every single one of our customers. After this, I would just work with them on how to fill out the transfer request forms, and we would finish documenting on our side, and everyone would be.
So this isn't going to cause a stir with the other marinas or anything like
Nope.
that? Because usually it's kind of what everybody's been in.
Yeah.
Without the history, I'd say.
But hopefully some other marinas can come in too and do something like this and clean up their books.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would just like to interject there that in my mind, I just don't see our clubhouse as being as operated as a business. It's just for the patrons to go in and get warm and get coffee and mingle, and I don't consider that clubhouse a business.
Wash your dishes off the boat again, and stuff like that.
Well, they're not selling anything, not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can often get donuts there though.
If somebody brings them.
We don't tell
Or your
you.
patrons.
You gotta bring.
We gotta bring them.
You gotta bring them, Paul.
And, where do the fans come in on this, as far as requirements go?
Well, we just wrote a check for $15,000 to them about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And just paid to rent the lake.
Wow.
Freedom.
Well, I don't see the places.
But they require a
Okay.
restrooms.
I mean, they have
Yeah,
private.
I don't know how down it works.
For your parking lot.
I tend to agree. I just want to make sure I have the board's decision on it.
And therefore, and it makes sense to require facilities for people using the lake.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But And all we're talking about is what ability do we have to charge for the accommodation of having the services.
Yes. And it sounds like the clubhouse is for the patrons only, which is billed through the boat slips.
Yeah.
The clubhouse itself is not open for public entertaining and things of that nature. So I just wanted to be sure. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't operating outside of the direction of the board or our ordinance, and that my understanding was true and correct. But it's been very enjoyable working with you guys. You've been very accommodating to our new process that we're doing here.
There's been a lot of changes. I mean,
Better work with them than some of your neighbors.
yeah.
Right? So then, I think I'm getting from the board that since the clubhouse is for the use of the patrons and people of the boat slips, that ER stays at 0. Would I be correct?
I'm with that.
With the board
I think it's a
understanding?
good interpretation
Yeah, I agree.
for the amount of
Okay.
sewer produced.
3 toilets.
Yeah.
193 boats, just less than 4.
You're never at 100% occupancy as far as people down on the boats. A lot of people do that.
4th of July, we put a bunch of sand cans out. Gotta know about that, yeah.
How much do we charge for those?
Right.
We did.
4 donuts.
We need a motion to act on this that move past, or is this just information and we'll move on?
Yeah, that it's not classified as a business, basically. So,
We need a motion that it's not classified as a business?
sure.
So I would make a motion, if you'd like to one.
I'll
Sure.
second.
Make a motion that the clubhouse at Bitter End, based on its current use, is not considered a business for purposes of ER calculation.
I'll second that. We have a second. Okay. My question, discussion, my question would be, are we going to come up against this with any of our other customers?
We potentially could if I am told that the Vista Clubhouse is not open to anybody but the boat slip owners as well. It's a difference of 1 ER for each case, for each marina owner. So,
They will be sorted through, I think, if we.
yeah, but you guys charge for your boat slips, so it's, makes sense.
Where it could come up is, let's take a McDonald's. They have a number of bathrooms. They have a couple at the store, which are clearly associated with the store and
Yeah.
part of a business, right?
Mhm.
Right.
The other bathrooms, some are kind of, Gary may say, well, they're not open to the public anymore.
I don't know that we're gonna have to worry about that. They got the one by the boat launch. They got the one on the hill up above the place up there. Where their little store is and the main entrance to the gas docks and so forth. But yeah, it's definitely a business.
Yeah, the ones on the dock there are right there with the store.
Yeah, that's
But I
Definitely.
think the area, because it's a store, it's open to the public.
Oh, I have people there all the time,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Far more than goes through like the Bitter End Clubhouse on it.
Yeah, there's
And
nobody
there's
doing-
lots of activity over there, but
Nobody's doing business down there.
there's a lot
Yeah,
of outside activity.
maybe.
Hudson Bay doesn't have a clubhouse, do they? No. So yeah, then the only other situation we have is the Vista Bay Clubhouse.
Well, they've got that barn, whatever they're doing upstairs, in the store.
No.
And you talking about, I'm talking about McDonald's, I guess.
Yeah.
No, that's not a clubhouse.
Vista Bay.
No.
Oh yeah, McDonald's. Yeah.
McDonald's.
So yeah, his is truly a business. So then yeah, the only other situation we would encounter here is the clubhouse at Vista Bay.
As far as marinas go.
And I've been down there, had some friends that go, and they have combination locks on their
Mhm.
bathroom and shower doors.
And Gary's been very in agreement when we met with him. He says, no, mine are public. Mine are open to.
I've seen it.
Well,
Yeah.
now Department of Lands requires some of these places to be open to the public.
I think in Gary's situation, yeah, because his is a different sort of business
I mean, it
operation.
sells stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, he's got
The
people
gas
coming in there to pick up
stations,
gas, go to the bathroom.
yeah.
There's a whole lot more outside people going to the bathroom.
Pumps
Yeah.
out boats.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a
He rents boats.
different
all sorts of
classification in that aspect, but so.
I think that the bathroom at the condos down there on the waterfront, on
With the keypad, or the one in the middle between the parking lot.
no, well, it's actually underneath the condos.
Yeah, the Boilers condos.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Boilers condos, and he has a
Keep it.
combination